We gotta get something to eat. I'm hungry as a motherfucker. Hey yo, what's taking son so long? Oh shit! Oh, pull up, pull up! Billy Dip, he sucks. I know you see blood in his eye from Gradovich. He trying to be what he destined to be. It's 50 Cent, man. SMS promotion. I got Andre Durrell, Billy Dip, nigga. Something special, man. Fit. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. You know I like to clown around a little bit. That was my Mini Men by 50 Cent. And the reason I did this is because I want to talk a little bit about 50 Cent and his label, his promotional company, whatever you want to call it. That's SMS Promotions. Now, I watched the Billy Dib fight tonight, Friday Night Fights, ESPN. Billy Dib is off a devastating upset loss. He had the title. He lost to Evgeny Gradovich, and he's working with Robert Garcia. That's who Gradovich works with. He lost his title in his last fight, and he's on the comeback trail. He wants to get a rematch with Gradovich, and more power to him. There's only one problem in my eyes, and he's not that good. I honestly don't see what it is. I know 50 Cent and Floyd Mayweather at one point, they were in cahoots to start the money team together and work together. But I really don't see what they see in this Billy Dib. He just seems very suspect to me. So in the fight tonight, he fought with Mike Oliver, and pretty much went life and death with Mike Oliver. He had points deducted in two separate rounds, and I think in the second and third round for low blows. So he was risking disqualification. Now, one could argue that based on risking the disqualification, and he's obviously trying to get back in the limelight and get bigger fights, get his title back, one could argue that it took him out of his element, out of his game plan. But you also have to keep in mind, if you're a professional fighter and you are warned by the referee once, a hard warning or whatever you want to call it, a low blow, that should be an indication that you need to pick them up and just be extra cautious. That doesn't mean you can't go to the body anymore. But as a professional, you have to make adjustments. And I think some of the greatest fighters are the ones that can do that and make those adjustments in the ring. Again, that doesn't mean you can't go to the body, but it doesn't mean you have to abandon your whole game plan. And to lose it in two separate rounds, he just hasn't looked special to me. I know 50 Cent's backing him. That's also what I want to talk about in this video. I just really don't see it. Gradovich did what people thought he couldn't do, and he beat Billy Dib for the title. And I just see him probably improving and getting better. That was his first title defense, or the title fight, I believe, for Gradovich, and he rose to the occasion. So now you're going to give this dude momentum. He's working with Robert Garcia. Who knows? I just don't see Billy Dib looking special, and that's just my honest opinion. I feel 50 Cent's SMS promotion, it's really sinking. I don't really see him signing the hottest talent. A lot of his fighters are very, very inactive. People like Andre Durrell, very inactive. Yuriorkis Gamboa, inactive. Now, I know that he had a fight recently, but he didn't look great in this fight. So as Gamboa goes up in weight, he hasn't looked as good as he has in the lower weight divisions. Another thing with the inactivity that kills fighters, boxing is almost like a popularity contest in terms of the networks. If a fighter like Adrian Broner or Canelo, they have a strong fan base, the networks have no problem airing these fighters, these young fighters, in their fights. However, if they don't see the marketability and they don't build a hype for themselves, usually the networks aren't going to go out of their way to make it 2 days. That's why the people like Gennady Golovkin, who's building, building his name in the States, people like Adrian Broner, people like Brandon Rios, these guys are fighters who've had some help from the networks. getting 2-day specials and Showtime promo videos where the camera crew follows them and that kind of stuff. But people like Gamboa hasn't had a 24/7 or anything to my knowledge. And with performances like his last one, I just don't really see networks jumping. He looked very lethargic in there. He looked like he didn't care, and he just um, barely got by a guy who, skill wise, hadn't been on his level. I mean, Gamboa has a solid resume. He's fought guys like Salido, fought guys like Ponce de Leon. He's fought people. So a person like Darlis Perez, you should really try to make that a statement fight and exploit his inexperience. And I don't think Gamboa did. So as far as SMS promotions, I'm just not seeing the vehicle. And I'm not trying to hate. I just feel like there's talent. People like Terrence Crawford and 50 Cent should have been all in the streets, scouting, looking for fighters like that. I see Terrence Crawford having potential. Even a fighter like Gamboa, although Gamboa is older for the sport of boxing, I feel there's a market for him. He just dethroned Nonito Donaire. So instead of letting these fighters go to top rank, maybe 50 Cent, if he knew he was doing the boxing promotion thing, should have been scouting for some of these fighters. And there's other people, Gary Russell Jr. I know he tried to get in touch with Gary Russell Jr. and I guess the offer wasn't good enough. But it's probably because Gary Russell Jr. likes his current situation, and who wants to join a non-winning team? If Gary Russell were to go over to SMS Promotions, it's like, why? What's the point? Who's their big star? Now you look at Golden Boy. Golden Boy has Canelo. They have Adrian Broners. They have Maidana. So if you're a young fighter and you see that, you see the talent pool. Even the people like Josecito Lopez and Victor Ortiz's, other people who have had some exposure and good fights, entertaining fighters, you're more apt to go there. But SMS Promotions, who do they really have that's paving the way, that's doing numbers? Again, a lot of their fighters are inactive. People like Billy Dib, I just don't see him. I see him getting chopped up by all of the top guys at 126. Gary Russell Jr., I think, will eradicate Billy Dib. Mikey Garcia will systematically destroy Billy Dib. I don't even know if he could beat Juanma Lopez. And that's my honest opinion. I don't know that he can beat Juanma Lopez, especially after performances like tonight. Again, against Oliver. Oliver is a fighter who is just a sturdy, standard fighter. Nothing really pops out. Also, a fighter who was coming off almost a 2-year layoff, 1 year and 8 months. And his last fight before Billy Dib, he got knocked out in the second round by Juanma Lopez. And that was almost 2 years ago. So as far as Billy Dib, I just don't see the superstar potential. I don't see him being the top of his class. I don't see him beating a Mikey Garcia. I don't see him beating a Gary Russell Jr. I don't even see him beating Gradovich again necessarily. That'll be a tough fight, especially if Gradovich got some confidence in his last fight. If he keeps working on his craft, he has some power. I just don't see him. I don't see Billy Dib doing it. And this is not just a bashing session. This is my honest opinion. So let me know what you guys think of SMS Promotions. Where do they go from here? I know if I was an up-and-coming fighter, I would be looking for kind of some of the other representation, either the Money Team, Golden Boy, Top Rank, even Lou DiBella. I just think those fighters that sign to those other promotional companies will have more of a future. And that's not a knock on 50. It's the boxing is a crucial business, a critical business, and you have to have the right allies and the right business sense. 50 is a very business savvy person, but his boxing promotional company, it just, to me, it fails. It's lacking something. It's like a soda that's been shaken up and you go to drink it and it's flat. There's no more fizz left. There's no bubbles. I don't really see who he has that'll keep the carbonation. I see fighters who I mean, I guess Gamboa is his biggest star, and Gamboa is not looking like next level. He's not looking as good as he once did. So unless he gets reinvigorated or something changes, I don't really see how SMS is going to really propel to the next level. Um, Even top rank, at least they're smart enough to sign fighters like Zhao Shiming. I don't think that dude's all that, but he has a whole country behind him, so he's definitely marketable. You can have a fight in Macau, China, and that shit will sell out. So from all angles, I don't really see the SMS having superstars. Andre Durrell, I think he should have beat Carl Froch, but again, he's very inactive. People forget boxing is a sport. What have you done for me lately? People don't know who Andre Durrell is because he fought Gennady Golovkin in the amateurs. They know Gennady Golovkin now, some of them, because Gennady Golovkin is fighting. Gennady Golovkin fought Ishida this year. He fought and ran through last week. He fought Gennady Golovkin, ran through Matthew Macklin. So fans are getting to see these fighters. People like Lucas Matisse, who went on under the radar for some casual fans, he's fighting often. He's fighting Humberto Soto and then the Jose's and then the Lamont Petersons, and he's signing up to fight Danny Garcia most likely. People are getting to see that level of exposure. So if you look at SMS promotions from all angles, is I don't really see anything that just stands out and says star power. People like Billy Dibb, he doesn't already have Australia behind him and a crazy fan base that I know of. He's not an exceptional next level elite fighter, in my opinion. So, what are you going to sell him as? What's his claim to fame? And he lost his belt to an underdog. Yuriorkis Gamboa. Gamboa, he's been implicated in a PED scandal. He doesn't speak English, and I have nothing against someone that doesn't speak English, but part of your marketability in the States is resonating with people. So if some Americans can't understand him, then that's one avenue he doesn't have. Cuba is a whole different ball game. There's no professional sports allowed, so even if people like him in Cuba, it's not going to be like Canelo's Mexican fans in Mexico supporting him. In Mexico, boxing is allowed, professional sports are allowed, unlike Cuba, so that's different. So, how is Gamboa going to get the level of American exposure and fan base in when he's not having stellar performances? His last two fights, he didn't look great. One was off a long layoff on the Pacquiao Marquez 4 undercard, and then his last fight with Darles Perez, he didn't look great. And he's letting a rookie steal some of his shine in the late rounds, in the championship rounds, when these are rounds that you fought with tougher competition and you have a more solid resume. I just don't see why you would let that slip away. Again, SMS Promotions, Andre Durrell, he doesn't fight enough. No one's really mentioning Andre Durrell. People are talking about Carl Froch, his old opponent, because Carl Froch just had an exciting fight with Mikhail Kessler, part two. Carl Froch is speaking about fighting Andre Ward in a rematch. He's keeping himself relevant by those things. And once again, he has a country behind him, the UK. Same thing with Gennady Golovkin. He's building his fan base. He's building his brand. So SMS, it's just looking like a sinking ship. Let me know what you guys think. Do you really like SMS? I have no problem with 50. I like his music. I like him as a person, but SMS is slowly dying, in my opinion. I think he really is close to flatlining until he signs like something, the next superstar, the next Adrian Broner, the next Canelo, somebody that's really going to shake up the boxing community. Even a person like Leo Santa Cruz. If I was 50 Cent, I'd be praying my lucky stars to get a fighter like Leo Santa Cruz. That would be the ideal situation. He's a Mexican fighter. Mexican fans stand by their fighters, and they could build him up. He speaks Spanish. He speaks some English. He's an exciting fighter in the ring. He puts it all on the line. He's an abusive body puncher. and he has an exciting style. 50 Cent needs to really get someone like a Leo Santa Cruz, in my opinion, to help propel his SMS promotion. If not, I really don't see what they're going to do with Darrell, Gamboa, and Billy Dib. My opinion. Let me know what you guys think. As always, hey, comment or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.